As usual, I was muted, so yeah, I messed it up. Welcome to Collecting Chaos Live, or welcome back to Collecting Chaos Live. If it's your first time here, just welcome. There's a lot of auctions going on tonight, and it's like every Thursday night there's a ton of auctions. And when I first started this show, there weren't very many auctions on Thursday night at this time. So I'm thinking about moving it, but I want some input, so I put up a little poll up there. And it would be cool if you went ahead and filled that out for me. Once I just determine what the answer is, then I'll put out another poll about other options. Not tonight, obviously, but I will put out another one. What I wanted to talk about was different things, collecting different things, selling different things other than comic books. Now, I know most of people that associate me with comics, but I've got a YouTube channel with 150, 160 items, which isn't very many, I know. No comic books. There's not a single comic book on there. There will be eventually, but as of right now, there isn't. There's a lot of toys, a lot of action figures, and starting tomorrow, these are going to be going up there. I think over the next 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll end up with 21 Magic the Gathering cards at auction. And every single one of them, I'm going to start them at a penny and just take whatever I get for them. And I don't have a lot of Magic cards, but I have enough that it's going to take me a little while to get them on. And eventually, I want to do more comics, or I will do some comics on there. Just have to decide. The biggest problem for me is deciding what to sell. What comics should I put on there? Because you go on eBay and the first thing you need to look at is that comic listed? Is there a lot of them? What are people selling for? How many of them are being sold? And it's just not that many. It's like every comic you think to put up, there's 400 of them already up there and none of them are selling. It's kind of a waste of time to put that up there. Patrick Murphy, glad you could stop in, and John Beck. It's always a pleasure to see you. But like I said, a lot of what I offer is toys and little items that I pick up. I picked up some items today. I went to a thrift store today. Blew my whole budget for the week on the thrift store. Cost me $8.12. But I got some really cool stuff, or at least I think it was. Unfortunately, there's 3 of these listed already on eBay for about $15 a piece. And it was just so cute, I had to pick it up. It's an octopus. And it's got eyelashes. And I try to stay away from the plush, but, sometimes you just see things you have to have. So I'm seeing these at $15 a piece. So I'm thinking I'll put it up for 10 and 10 plus shipping. And the shipping is not going to be much because it doesn't weigh anything. And just see what happens with it. So that's one of the things I picked up. And these are all things that I wouldn't be putting in my Tuesday's Treasures video anyway. And then I saw this item, or this bag of items. There's 3 of them, and these are dollhouse fixtures, but they're cool. They're porcelain. There's a little bathroom sink and a bathtub. I mean, something told me I needed to pick these up. I'll probably not get a whole lot for the set, but then the thing everybody needs. Couldn't resist it. I had to pick those up. I paid about $4 for them, which is not bad. So yeah, that's I'm going to hope to get maybe 12, 15 for them if I'm lucky. But they are porcelain, which is something I agree with. And then I picked up this bag. And it's just a lot of miscellaneous crap that doesn't look like it's worth anything. And really, the only reason I bought it, you know, I got a little surprise from it because some of the stuff in here is actually worth something. But I buy things, sometimes it's an impulse. You see it and you just go, wow, it's got to be worth something. So you pick it up. And I've done that a few times and I made money off of it. These were not the reason I bought them. I figured these weren't worth anything. I figured at most these might go for $2 or $3 a piece. No, I checked them. I comped them. $15 a piece all day long. Surprised me. And then I saw these. Now these are little knife, fork, and spoon set. $1 maybe? Thinking that's what my thinking was. Maybe $1, $2. No, $8 a piece. And I have almost 3 sets. So I figured put these up for $8 a piece and this one up for like $5. Again, not the main reason I picked it up, but that was a plus. When I saw those, I thought they got to be worth something. Didn't expect we'd be with that. Then there was this. I think this goes on like a little vanity for a doll. I have no idea what it is. It is made in Japan. I can see that, and that's about the only information I have on it. It has some other writing on it. I just can't make it out. So I'll go ahead and list that little tray. And I'll put a stupid price on it, you know, and then take whatever somebody offers me. There's a plastic candlestick holder, which is probably not worth anything, but you know, you buy a lot and you get what you get. And these are one half of that's one andiron where I would need 2 to sit in a little fireplace. And this is for the fireplace tools. And those, I'll throw them in there for something. This kind of interested me. It's a teapot. Lid comes off. And I was thinking when I first saw it was pewter, but it's really heavy. So I'm kind of thinking it might be lead, which means I might not be able to sell it. I don't know. I'll have to check into that. And along with it was this. I guess if I sell it as a collectible, I might be able to get away with it. I'll list it as pewter. And if it is lead, you know, it's not my fault. I didn't know. I'm not a scientist. But the main reason I bought it was this. Let me take it out of the bag for you. This is the main reason I bought that whole little set, was because I saw this little picture in there and I went, wow, that's cool. See if I can get something behind it so you can actually see it. I never have a backing board when I need one. And that is actually a Korean bookmark. It actually has on the back, has some nice little scroll work. And it says Korean culture and beauty. And I don't know what that hallmark is there. I need to look that up. It is magnetic, so it isn't gold. Darn it. Or if it is, it's got something else in there besides it. But yeah, that's the whole reason I bought it. And it's nice. I might send it to my wife. I don't know. Overall, this little bag, assuming I don't sell this, maybe $50. That's what I'm thinking. And that's one of the reasons why I sell things other than comic books. I mean, number one, I love finding treasures like that. And number two, make more money off of them. For some reason, I make more money off the unknown than I do the known. And I know what the comics are worth, and I know what they should sell for. They don't always sell for that. But this bag was a total unknown. And I stand to make $40 or $50 off of it. So, yeah, it's one of those things you just have to look into. Yeah, absolutely. And when I took it up to the counter, the girls were like, "Why is this stuff in this bag?" I went, "I don't know. I didn't do it. That's the way I found it." So, yeah, I got too close. Now the camera doesn't want to focus on me. But, and there's just, it's just unbelievable, the things people collect. I like to look on eBay, just look, and you can sell anything there. I mean, literally anything. And people do sell anything, things that you wouldn't believe would sell, things that you wouldn't expect are worth anything. Now, I knew people collected matchboxes or match covers. I've sold quite a few of those in the past. I don't have any currently, but I've probably sold 400 or 500 of them over the years, and made a little money off of them because, you walk into a restaurant, you pick up a couple of they used to have them there. So, you pick up a couple of matchbooks, not too many, just one or two, walk out. And after a couple of years, you sell them and you make money, Yeah, the dollhouse stuff and the toys, those little wagons, those are actually Christmas tree ornaments. But I said they were listed for $15. I'm not going to try to sell them for that. I might, 5 or 10 maybe. I don't know. There's a couple of ways to sell on eBay. The first way is you put a price on it and you forget about it. And maybe one day, if you're lucky, somebody will buy it. And the second way is to see what everybody else is selling it for. And if it's something that there isn't a lot of them, you mark it a little bit under theirs, you flip yours real quick, and then you go on to something else. And that's a quicker way to make money. And there's some things that I'm going to put on there, and I'm going to put a price on it, and I'm just going to let it sit forever. And there's some stuff that, yeah, I'll put a price on it. Make sure it's a little bit under somebody else's. Maybe I'll give free shipping. Maybe I won't, depending on what it sells for. And we'll go from there, and take an offer on it if it's a buy it now thing. There's some things that I have that are buy it now that I can't take offers on because I have them priced at such a price point that if I take an offer, I'll lose money. And that's precisely because most of the stuff I do buy it now, I pay shipping on eBay. which some people say, well, that you shouldn't do that. That's my way of giving them a discount, discounting the item. I list an action figure for $9.50 or $15 or $20 or whatever it happens to be, and I put in there, I pay shipping, free shipping, and suddenly people go, oh, yeah, his is a little more expensive, but he pays for shipping, and then they look at the other people's where they're charging $5 or $10 for shipping and don't realize it's only going to cost me like $3 or $4 to ship. So there's ways to do it and ways not. And I think every person that lists stuff and sells stuff has to find their own way. I have comics that I can afford to sell for 50 cents, like I did the other day. Basically, two comics for $1, that's 50 cents. How much do I plan on getting out of those comics? Like on my Tuesday sales, when I figure what I might make, I figure it based on $1 for each item. And if I make more than that, great. And if I don't, well, I've already planned to take that amount. So it's not a big deal. Would I like to make more? Sure, absolutely. 100%. You got it. Definitely want to make more. But you have to be prepared for the worst and take the best. Yeah, small dollhouse stuff of quality does go for money. I worked in a toy store. We sold doll furniture, and this stuff was just gorgeous. I mean, it was really finely crafted. And this was back in the late 80s, and we'd sell a little piano stool for like $15, $20. People wouldn't hesitate it. They'd buy it. Just to see if I could do it, I made a table and chair for my daughter. One of her friends saw it and went nuts. And a while later, I ended up making another one. It was crap. At least I'm not good at making things from wood. I can take something and repaint it and make it pretty. I can take and refinish a toy and make it look good, which you will see. Hopefully the airplane will turn out well. If you didn't watch this morning's video, in the first part of it, I talk about that airplane that I showed last week and the fact that it had been repainted and had decals from a plastic model on it, and that I'm going to do a full restoration on it. I'll be stripping the paint off, and I'm going to show that. I'm going to show, putting the paint stripper on the plane. Now, that's as far as I'm going to show on that. I'm not going to show everything on it, but I'll show putting it on there so you know that I'm really stripping it down. And then I'll show what it looks like after the paint's stripped. And then the next week I'll show it primed and what I have to do after that. How you doing, Michael? Good to see you. But then I'll show it primed on another week, and then I'll show it being painted on another week. And then reassembly. I might do the reassembly live. Literally, I might put my camera, take this camera into the other room, log into StreamYard or into YouTube, one of the two, on my laptop using this camera, focus down on my work area, and have you actually watch me assemble the plane. So I haven't decided that 100%. I got to play with it a little bit, but I am thinking about doing that. I'd love to be able to use my camera to do that, but I have to I'd have to spend $200 or $300 on stuff in order to do that, and I don't have the money to spend on that because I have to use that money to buy more stuff to sell to you people. Probably, yeah. I was a little surprised when I saw John's comment. Usually he doesn't comment on my videos. Pleasantly surprised, I might add. But yeah, that's I'm real happy with the way that Archie comic turned out. And I didn't have to spend hours showing you every little thing I did. I just brief and got it done. And yeah, we'll do more. I'll do more. I have one that I plan on cleaning that I think you will be surprised at which one I'm going to be cleaning. It's not an Archie comic. It's a DC. I just hope I don't ruin it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if you get one that's that bad. I mean, that spine roll was terrible. That's one of the worst spine rolls I've seen in a long, long time. And I thought, well, you know, I know how to do it. I could have done it with an iron, and I might have considered doing it with an iron if it weren't for the fact that it had that bottom staple was detached. If the bottom staple was attached, I might have done it with an iron. Yeah, it came out better than I expected. And it cleaned up a lot nicer than I expected too, having only gone over it once with the Immaculate. Normally I have to go 2, 3, 4 times. But I only went over it once, and a lot of the dinginess that was on the back is nice bright white now. I still have it in between the 2 pressing boards. That's what those are. Those are cold press boards. So what are some of the things you guys collect aside from comic books? I know John ends up buying a lot of toys, but I don't. Sometimes I think he buys them because he feels sorry for me. Sometimes I think he buys them because he genuinely wants them or has never seen them before. Movies. I picked up a few of those. I've been picking up a few records here and there too. My that's what this is. This came today. Very happy to get this. Some people will be very unhappy that I did get it. Of course, I got this from Dawn and Mary on one of their auctions. Actually, it was on their Buy It Now. And as soon as I saw it on there, I went, no. I'm not letting somebody else get that. And it's unopened. Never been opened, still sealed from the factory. So yeah, we're just going to leave that right in there where it can be protected. Yeah, I like old things too, and I like new things also. Coins, I've got some coins, but I've never thought about selling any of them. I have some Ninja Turtle stuff. Mostly what I have is because I've sold off most of my turtles. So about the only thing I have left is the large format uh, collections they did, and the Archie Adventures of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I don't have all of those, but I have a pretty decent run of them, starting with number one. I used to have the first edition of the role-playing game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness, but I gave it to one of my customers because he really liked that kind of thing, and he helped me out a lot, so I just gave it to him. Probably made a big mistake, but, hey, he was a good kid. He was the same kid that I bought a Hulk 181, and I paid $40 for it. And I showed it to him, and he just melted because he knew there was no way in the world he could ever afford that, because even in the condition it was in, it was still like a $200 or $300 book at the time. So he said, okay, I have to know. I can't afford it, but I have to know. How much is it? And I went, for you, $40. He went, what? I said, yeah, $40 for you. You just pay me a little bit every week. And every day he'd come in and give me his lunch money until it was paid off. Except he never paid it off. Because the week before his birthday, his mother came in and said, give him his money back. Tell him you had to sell the comic. You had an offer you couldn't refuse. And then she gave me the $40. He was so bummed. And then the next day he got it for his birthday from his mom. So he was so bummed and so mad at me too, I might add. I only have one Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figure on the card. It's an unpunched, which means it still has it's never been hung on a peg. It still has the peg closure there. April O'Neil, first edition, without the purple stripe on the card. Yeah, I've had that since, well, I was going to buy all 5 of them because I only wanted the Turtles and the April O'Neil. I didn't want the Bebop and Rocksteady, which also came in the assortment. And I had them put away. I worked at a toy store. I had them put away so I could buy them. And somebody went into the box that I had them in and took out the 4 Turtles and left the April O'Neil. And sold them to a customer. Oh, yeah, we'll let him get them the next time we get some. Of course, we didn't get any more for another 9 months. But, yeah, I picked up the April O'Neil when it first was released. Had no idea that it was going to be rare. But the next one that came out, it had the purple stripe on the card. Yeah, that happened to me a couple of times. I had the when the Batman movie was about to be released, Applause came out with a large size Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Robin, and I had the whole set put away. I had already made a deposit on it with my boss, and I had to take a couple of days off. And when I came back, they were gone. All of them were gone. My boss had to give me my money back. And he didn't know who took them or who who decided to grab them and sell them. And I was pissed. I did eventually get a Batman, but the ones I really wanted was the Superman and the Wonder Woman. And I got the Batman because a kid came into my store one day and said, and wanted to give it to me, so I took it. I've never even thought about selling it because it was a gift. I have a turtle in one of my boxes. Yeah, I have a turtle in the basketball uniform. I think it might be Michelangelo. I'm not sure. Yeah, you don't know. I wanted to pick them up because I thought they were cool. I picked up the Toy Biz figures too. The first run of Toy Biz, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, the Joker. What was it? Bob the Goon. I picked up all of those and had them in my office, which we ended up renting out to a guy. He needed a place to stay, so we rented out my office, and he opened them all up because he wanted to put them on display in the window. I did manage to grab the Superman and get it back into the case, and I still have it complete. The rest of them I've ended up selling off. Yeah, well, I was in my 40s by then, so, or 30s or something like that. I don't know. I was on the verge of thinking about being an old man. But even back then, I was thinking of what can I put away? What can I buy and put away that might be worth something later on down the line? I knew comic books were a no-brainer. Toys a little less so. I mean, I wanted to pick up a lot of the toys, but I didn't. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't choke him to death. That's true. He also stole some of my items. I had uh, Superman tie clasp. Of course, I don't wear ties, but I still had it. That disappeared, and it was sterling, 995 and or 945 or whatever the numbers were, and a few other little bits of Superman jewelry that disappeared on me, and it was part of my collection. It all grew. That stuff grew legs and walked away, and I never did figure out how. Yeah, having money's good. It's nice not to have to worry about my bills. I mean, I pay all my bills and don't have to worry about that. The only thing I worry about every month, every week is, am I going to have an extra $200 to send my daughter? And you guys helped me do that, so I'm very appreciative of that. You never know. Somebody might want it at some point. I have this little red wagon. It's a radio flyer wagon. Now, they came out with these in 1990. They came out originally with them in 1930, but the radio flyer emblem on the side is different. And I was looking around on for something else, and I happen to see these. They're selling that stupid wagon on Etsy as a 1930s radio flyer wagon when it actually came out in 1990, and they're asking $80 for it. And this is not the first one. I mean, it's sold on Macari for $80. The same thing. It's a 1990s one that they're selling as a 1930s one because people don't know the difference. They don't know that the newer radio flyer emblem is not worth it. It's from the 1990s. You'll find somebody eventually that wants it. I have two figures that are very much wanted. I still have I still have one WWF wrestling figure. I still have a Sable figure. And that's very much wanted by a lot of people. It's still on the card. And I also still have a 7 of 9 figure, which everybody wants that one. And nobody's going to get it. But yeah, from the 90s, there's so many figures that showed cleavage in the 90s that isn't funny. I mean, I probably have some in this drawer right here. Nope, not anymore. Nah, I sold them. But I have a tub full of them in the other room. Who's supposed to get her own show? Oh, okay. Yeah, I wanted to watch Picard, but I don't watch TV, so I'll have to wait for it to come out on video or on DVD. Yeah. Jerry Ryan. I stopped calling it Voyager and started calling it the Jerry Ryan Show. Because she was the only reason I was watching it. Yeah, I like watching all that stuff, though. I mean, I'm a Star Trek fan from the very first day. Wasn't a huge Deep Space Nine fan, but I have watched them all. I watched them later on. I didn't watch them when they first came. I watched a few of them when they first came out. And if I miss it, it's no big deal. And I was ready to quit watching Voyager after the second season. And then Jerry Ryan showed up as 7 of 9, and I just never stopped watching it. Hey, Kate Mulgrew is awesome. She's a good actress. I've always liked her as an actress. Of course, I like Katharine Hepburn as an actress, too. Yep. Here's the thing about Kate Mulgrew. She's a year younger than me. Exactly 1 year younger than me. She was born on my first birthday. We share a birthday. But she was born in 1955. I was born in 1954. So we got people that collect coins, people that collect. Yeah, that's true. The last season was the last season was really good until the very last episode. It was like they ran out of ideas on how to get these people home. Yeah. There's worse things to have share a birthday with than somebody that kicks butt on aliens. I'll tell you. You know. Yeah. Now Star Trek has always played around with time travel. They did it in the movies. They did it in the original series. Not quite as much, uh, and only one episode, and they did it in a way that was actually good. But yeah, but yeah, as a plot device, it's okay. As a way to get it to solve a problem, not so much. Yep, Save the Whales. That's the first movie my wife and I went to see, and she slept through 2/3 of it, and then woke up for the last part of it. Kept talking about for weeks. She talked about how exciting it was. Never had the heart to tell her that she missed most of it. Yeah. Yes, she really did. She slept through most of the movie. I learned very quickly that we movies were not the things we went to because she would fall asleep every time. The only movie she didn't fall asleep that we went to see in the theater was Mouse Hunt. And that was because it was so funny. She couldn't stop laughing long enough to fall asleep. Yeah, but coins just aren't my bag. All things silver. I just I accumulate them, but I never thought about selling any of them. It's just not something I want to do. I've never been really interested in collecting coins. No, no, I'm still old enough and worried enough about COVID that I'm not going to a movie theater. Really? You think I accumulate stuff? It's a $2,000 Batman statue up there. I have a two-headed dragon over here and a troll. Why? I can't resist this. I even have a toilet. No. No. You can buy the Batman statue, but I'm not going to do an auction for that. Oh, he's not going to fall. He's on a marble base. That's not a shadow you see. That's black marble. It sticks over about this far. And that thing weighs about 25 or 30 pounds. If he fell, he'd probably go right through the floor. And of course, I've got trading cards out the wazoo. I need to start listing some trading cards. Maybe I'll start putting those online for a penny a piece. Penny a piece, $4 shipping. Yeah. I was asked, I did get a message asking me why I was charging so much for shipping on cards. And I explained to them how I ship cards. I take 2 pieces of corrugated cardboard. Don't have any handy. Yeah. Or do I? No. But I take 2 pieces of corrugated cardboard. I put the card inside of a sleeve. It's a really expensive card. I'll put it in a sleeve that's going to protect them even more. I put the cardboard on either side. I wrap the hell out of it with plastic wrap. Guys, I love my plastic wrap. Then I put it in a padded envelope and I mail it. And it cost me about $4. So that's what I charge for shipping with those. I don't care if you buy 1 card for a penny, it's still $4 for shipping. If you buy 10 cards for a penny, it's still $4 for shipping. For a penny each, yeah, I'm still going to charge you the same shipping cost. I made sure the listings where I've got the magic cards going up for a penny a piece, I made sure that I put them. If you win more than 1 auction in a day, wait for me to send you an invoice because I do combine shipping. And yeah, most of these that I have going up are commons, except for the mythic rare. And then I have a mythic rare foil that's both of those are starting at a penny also. But that's the first lot that's going up. And then I think what I'm going to end up doing is putting 5 up a day. I'm going to increase the number I'm listing every day. probably 10 or 15. Oh, I'm already listing 10 items a day. I might change it to 15. Yeah, I know. And a lot of the buy, and like I said, the buy it now stuff I have, the action figures that I'm selling for anywhere from $10 to $20 or $9 to $20. The Hot Wheels that I'm listing, yeah, my prices are a little high on them, but it's free shipping. So that's where mine ends up being a better value because I don't charge shipping on that stuff. On auctions, I always charge shipping on auctions. Yeah. And on every auction, on every listing I do, regardless, I put down that I combine shipping. And that if you buy more than one item for you, I may give you a small refund. You know, in other words, I might be willing to refund some of that money. Depends on what it actually costs to ship. I mean, if you bought a huge item and a small item, obviously you're going to have to pay the shipping on the huge item, but the small item won't cost you anything. But I'm not going to ship you the larger item for the cost of the smaller item. But if you think about it, would you be willing to pay a little more for an item if you knew you didn't have to pay shipping? Say everybody else has it at $9 and this other guy has it for $10.50 but free shipping. Which one are you going to buy? You're going to buy the $9 one and pay $5 shipping? Or are you going to buy the $10.50 one and not have to worry about shipping? I don't like I don't like to do calculated shipping on an auction. I will if I have to. That's one of the reasons why I'm not shipping outside of the U.S. or out of. I don't ship from eBay anywhere that doesn't have a U.S. mailing address. So yeah, I'll ship over. I'll ship to the APO, the FPOs. I'll ship to Puerto Rico and any other territory of the U.S. Yeah, there you go. Figure your cost. That's how I figure out how to list things. I figure out what I want to get for it. Then I add in the cost of shipping. And then I figure out how much eBay is going to steal from me. And the reason I say steal is the way they figure what they're going to charge me is they take what the item sells for plus shipping plus tax, and then they calculate their fee based on that. Well, number one, they shouldn't be calculating their fees based on tax because that's something that we have no control over. They're doing that. So I'm having to pay extra on my tax, on the tax that, yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. The last time I used GSP, they said it was going to cost me $5 and charged me $15. I ended up losing money on it big time. Yeah, they charged me $15 to ship an item that I sold for $15. eBay turned around and charged me $15 for shipping. They didn't charge the customer. They charged me. Well, you shouldn't. You had your butts in Colorado radar. If you had them here, you wouldn't have had him kicked. But that's why I stopped shipping global, because it was costing me too much. I wasn't making any money. I was losing money. I was having to pay to. I was giving my items away and paying eBay to do it. I just I didn't want to do that. Yeah. I don't I don't have a store. I just do listings because I have under, you know, it really doesn't pay to have a store until you have like 380 listings. Less than that, if you don't have 380 listings, it's not worth having a store. Yeah, you get 250 free, and then you have to pay what, 30 cents a piece to list the rest. But for the cost of the store that you would need to be able to list more than 250 in the first place, it's going to cost you $30 a month. Well, $30 a month, you can get all of those other listings up to 380. So it's not cost effective for me to get a store until I have over 380 listings. And the way I'm going and the way things are selling, that might take me a while. Oh, I don't think anybody's ever gotten a card from me that had water on it. I believe I could take them and run them under the sink and they wouldn't get wet by the time I'm finished with them. Yeah. Yeah, I knew you had an eBay store. I didn't realize you shut it down. Did you shut it down or did you just let it go? No, you said you closed it. But yeah, eBay's okay. I mean, I knew going into it that they were going to charge me more than what they should be. Um, I know going into it that I'm paying probably close to 18% when you figure they're charging me for tax as well. Uh, so it's anywhere from 13 to 18% that I'm paying, and on some items it can be higher, like clothing items. I don't understand how these people are doing clothing on eBay. Because the amount they charge, the percentage that they get on clothing is just ridiculous. It's what, 20% or something like that, plus the final value fee. And they make a big deal about, well, you should become a top rated seller. You're doing everything the way you need to do. But yeah, I'm happy with being above average. Uh, Being an above average seller, I don't have the responsibilities that a top rated seller has to worry about. And if I make one mistake, I don't have to worry about it. said, I'm running right around. My eventual goal is to list like 15 items a day. And if I do it the way I'm currently doing it, where I take all my pictures and get everything prepped on Saturday and Sunday, well, actually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then start listing everything Monday to go through to the following Sunday, I should be able to do 15 a day, no problem at all. And that'd be like 5 cards, 5 comics, 5 toys. And it'd also be 105 items a week, so nothing wrong with that. Yeah, a lot of people are leaving it. I've discovered that I can make offers on stuff and get it for a lot less than what I normally would have to worry about. But some things I just go ahead and bid on. Bidding on eBay is fun because what you got to do is figure out how much you want to pay for it. Subtract the tax, subtract the shipping, and that's what you put in for your bid, so that the amount that you actually pay for it is not more than you actually wanted to pay. Otherwise, you're liable to end up paying $40, $50 on a $20 item. I've seen that happen. I've had it happen to me. I bought something I wasn't paying attention to the shipping charge. And eBay adds shipping, and then that's another thing they do that I think might be illegal. Item plus shipping, tax all of that. And I don't think they're supposed to tax shipping. I talked to the post office about it, and they said, no, you can't do sales tax on shipping. Yeah, you can get slabs cheap depending on what they are. I mean, if you're looking for a key issue, no, they get stupid on key issues. But if you want to just pick up a regular slab, you can usually get those pretty decent. I've seen that, and I hate it. Nothing worse than seeing $5, buy it now, and then you get ready to bid, and then you buy it, and then you look at it and say $35 shipping. Economy. Flat $35, and they're going to ship it economy, which means they're going to, number one, they're going to break the law because they're shipping a comic book media mail, and comic books aren't allowed to be shipped media mail. The post office says flat out, comic books may not be shipped media mail. I get them that way all the time, though. I get comics media mail all the time. And the other thing I see a lot of is stuff like this being used to protect something. And then sent media mail or first class. I actually got, I received something in the mail, and I wanted to show the postmasters at my local post office what it was, because she's a friend of mine and we've known each other for a while. So I opened it up, and it was sent media mail. And what do we see? I just looked at her and went, "Geez." She went, "I'm not going to charge you." And I went, "No, you have to. It's the law." And I paid up and ended up paying, I think she charged me about $6 extra for priority mail postage. on something that was shipped for $3. That's right. Playboy can't ship media mail. Normal magazines can't ship a media mail. Graphic novels can be shipped media mail. You still get your book, but you either have to pay for the postage, or the sender has to pay for it. But you still do get it. That's why when I send comics, they either go first class or they go priority. It depends on which one is less expensive. Sometimes it's first class, sometimes it's priority. If it's one or two comics, first class is cheaper. If it's anything over 3, might as well send it priority. Now, I did get these media mail, but these were appropriately sent media mail, because they're not, even though they're magazine size, they're not really magazines. They're activity books. They teach you how to draw, how to paint, how to do stuff like that. And one of them actually I looked up this one. This one that was actually on eBay for about $10. I don't think I paid $10 for all of them. No, I paid $15 for all of them. And I bought them to sell. And then there's another item I got with those. Of course, I got those. I got the record. And then I got a porcelain horse from Japan. It's a porcelain horse figurine made in Japan. I recognize it from the late 50s, early 60s. So I went ahead and picked it up. I don't think I paid much. Maybe $5. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, that's going back in the box. I went ahead and washed it and cleaned it up. It's going back in the box, back in the bubble wrap, back in the box. The box is being taped back up. It's getting a new label on it and being shipped. And no, I didn't buy it just to sell it. I'm not selling it at all. I'm sending it to my sister as a here, this will make you smile present. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Like I said, sending stuff wrapped like that, it's a crapshoot. Now, I got a priority mailbox today, wrapped in plastic, like they did it. Basically, they did it as a box in a bag, but they had it so tight it was still a box, and they paid priority mail. So that's actually legal, because yes, it was in a priority mailbox, but they paid for priority mail, so it's okay. Which gives me an idea, because I've been trying to figure out a cheap way to send Hot Wheels cars safely, and I'm thinking some of those VHS boxes. I'm going to wrap one and measure it. I'm just going to measure it and see what it would cost to send it priority, based on the weight, and see if it's less than paying it as the one rate. Art Chemist, Glad to see you. Glad you could stop in. I'm running a little late, but that's okay. We're having a good conversation. Normally, I would have closed down about 11 minutes ago, but that's okay. What else do I have to do? I've washed all my dishes, cleaned my kitchen, cleaned my bathroom. Looked up 20 some odd Star Wars action figures. Tuesday's Treasures, people. You want to see what Star Wars figures they are, you got to watch Tuesday's Treasures. I'm doing great. For Hot Wheels cars, yeah, they will. You can fit two or three of them in there. I'm not talking about the DVD ones. I'm talking about the larger VHS ones. The Hot Wheels cars will fit in there. Those are all going to go on eBay. But I'm going to show them on my Tuesday Treasures video that drops at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Those will all be shown. There's very few older ones. Most of them are from the 90s. I guess that's older. I don't know. When I think of older Star Wars, I think of these when I think of older Star Wars. One day I might put them up for sale. But I'm going to put those up for auction. They're probably going to start $3 and a quarter plus shipping. And of course, I'll combine shipping on them. But I'll show you one of them. And yeah, he has the helmet. I don't have his gun, but he does have the helmet. I think that one's from 95 or 96. Yeah, 1996. Power of the Force. Stormtrooper Luke. I was talking to somebody today. I had to go to Walmart. I had to pick up some more of these little bags because I was out of these little bags, and I wanted to pick up some more because the Star Wars figures I'm selling, I don't want to put my little plastic things. I want to keep those for the ones I'm keeping. Or for the higher dollar ones. And I was talking to somebody, and we were talking about Barbie dolls, and because a Barbie doll is like $8 or $9 now. And I looked at her and I said, "Do you know how much Barbie dolls were when they first came out?" And she went, $1. And I went, "No, they were 39 cents. The original Barbie doll sold for 39 cents. And they sold 1 million of them. But then in the 50s, 39 cents was a pretty good chunk of money. But then again, when you think about it, comics were 10 cents then, and Barbies were 39 cents. So a Barbie was 4 times as much as a comic book. And now a comic book is about the same price as a Barbie. No, it's like $8 today. Bread was 15 cents. Bread now is about $4. Penny candy was a penny. You can't buy penny candy now. Penny candy will cost you, your firstborn. I remember going to a little drugstore that was on the corner, and they would have some jars, and it was a small drugstore, more like a little, and they would have jars of penny candies, and I'd pay my penny, I'd get 2 bit of honeys for a penny. Or 1 big thing of licorice, big stick of licorice. And yeah, they didn't have all this weird colored licorice. It was licorice. It was black licorice. Yeah, everything is doubling except the income. We won't get into the causes of that. We all know what they are. We're not going to get into that. But actually, I predicted the inflationary spiral 2 years ago, and people didn't understand why. Because people are going to go back to work and everything's going to go up in price. And they went, that didn't make sense. And, yeah, I know. But yeah, about 2 years ago, I was telling people, just hold on if you can. You don't want to spend all your money on expensive books right now. Wait, they're going to come down. And some of those expensive books are starting to drop in price because people aren't buying them. They can't afford it. In the past, most collectibles have been kind of immune to inflation, but I don't think that's going to happen this time. I think what happens after the inflation is a depression. No, it's not going to last for very long, but we will have a small depression. Yeah. Yeah. It was much better when it was based on gold. Now well, it might be up there, but we haven't hit it yet. And the reason we won't have a big depression like you've seen, if you studied history, you'll see these historically huge depressions where people are ready to kill themselves, is because we do have a very good banking system. The banks are, while not the best in the world, they're good, good enough that you don't really have to worry too much about it. And it's when the banks start crashing that you have a depression. That's what caused the depression in the after the American Civil War. We had a depression that lasted 2 or 3 years, and then of course, right after World War II or World War One, we had another bad depression. Yep. Well, now you can own gold again. That's the good part. You can own gold again, but it doesn't do any good. J.P. Morgan pretty much put the American bank. He used to bail out the U.S. government on a routine basis, uh, which is why they never really went after U.S. Steel because they needed him to bail them out. That's true. You have lots of reading to do. Those that don't learn history are doomed to repeat it. It's a shame that our current administration has never studied history. They might know it well up in Canada, but they don't know it very well down here, or they wouldn't be making all the same mistakes again. Oh, absolutely. But while the Federal Reserve might be something of a con, it works, and it works really well. Yeah, as long as it's one of the reasons why the Federal Reserve was created was to prevent a depression like we had in the 20s, where people were so worried about losing everything that they literally just committed suicide. Hey, Patrick, how you doing? Uh, and we haven't had a bad depression since then. We've had minor ones. We've had dips, minor depressions. Uh, just like I was talking to some of the employees. They know I have Walmart stock. I was talking to some of the Walmart employees. Have you sold your stock yet? No. Look, why would I want to sell my stock? Oh, it's all going to hell. It's down to like $127 a share. I sold mine yesterday. And I looked at him and went, why? Did you need the money? No. Then why did you sell it? Because it's dropping like crazy. And I'm like, yeah, but it's going to go back up again. Just hang on to it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting on it. I don't need the money, so why do I want to sell it? I don't care if it goes to $10 a share. I'm not going to sell it because I don't need the money. If, on the other hand, something happened and I needed the money, yeah, I'd sell it then. But I have nearly 100 shares of Walmart stock. I'm not going to sell it. I suspect by the end of the year, we'll see it back up to 150, 145, $150 per share. And if we don't, the end of the next year, it's no big deal. I look at that the same way I look at comics. The longer you hold on to them, if you have certain issues, the longer you hold on to them, the more they're worth. Now, the key issues that I've sold off, that I've decided I didn't want to keep, were ones that I just didn't want anymore. It had nothing to do with money. It was taking up room in my collection that I didn't want it to take up. Oh, I wish it would split. They've been saying Walmart stock was going to split for the last 10 years. I remember them saying, oh, when it hits $60 a share, it'll split. When it hits $75 a share, it'll split. When it's $100 a share, it'll split. When it hits $120 a share, it'll split. Every time they keep saying it hasn't. One of the reasons they haven't is they see these other companies that are, $1,000 a share. Yeah, that's what they said about a lot of the other numbers. It depends on, do they want to keep it in the hands of the people that own the stock and can afford it, or do they want to keep it in the hands of people that may not be able to afford it otherwise? Night, Jackson Roy Clerk. And you know what? I think that's a good idea. I think I'll say good night as well. It's coming up on 10:30 my time, 11:30 Eastern time. And I did say I'd be on from 9 to 10 or 10 to 11 or something like that. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's a lot of what it is who they want to allow. And that's the key. Who do they want to allow to be able to buy in? Walmart has traditionally sold stock to their employees. If they want to keep selling stock to their employees, they're going to have to split eventually in order to be able to have the newer employees be able to afford it. Anyway, I want to say good night to everybody. I hope you always had a good time. I actually enjoyed tonight more than what I normally do. Make sure before you head to your comics, cards, toys, games, whatever you happen to be into, you wash your hands. It's good for your collectibles, and more importantly, it's good for your health. And we will see you tomorrow night. Horizon Picks channel, 7 o'clock, I believe, is the time. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to bring some fire. Going to dig into my collection, pull out a few things that I don't want anymore that might be worth a little bit of money. We'll see. Bye. Have a wonderful night.